In the year 2540, the universe was an endless sea of stars, connected by corridors of lightspeed travel. Yet, amidst this vast expanse, the balance of cosmic order teetered perilously close to chaos, with an event long thought to be mere myth. Aboard the coalition vessel Vanguard, status signals blinked anxiously, transmitting a discovery that had sent waves of unease through the interstellar coalition, a signal from the Arken Flare. Kai Trenton sat in his battered star cruiser, the Nova Shroud, glaring at the holographic message hovering before him. "Pilot Kai Trenton," it buzzed. "Your presence is requested on the Vanguard." Kai scoffed, running a hand through his windswept hair. Requests from the coalition were hardly requests. "Still dodging the brass, I see," said Dr. Seraphina Gale, her image flickering to life beside the message. A renowned astrophysicist, her genius was matched only by her disregard for conventional methods. Her eyes sparkled with defiance, the kind that made superiors wary and enemies cautious. "Well, looks like they cornered you just like me." Kai raised an eyebrow. "You got dragged in too? What's their game?" "The Arken Flare," she replied, voice tinged with a mix of awe and incredulity. "It's real, it's awake, and we're its watchers." Trenton squinted out into the starlit void, a place that held far fewer mysteries for him than it once did. "So they want us to babysit a light show?" Seraphina chuckled, a sound surprisingly soothing against the sterile backdrop of technology. "More like unravel its secrets before it unravels us." The duo's banter masked the unease they both felt. The flare was an enigma, the remnants of civilization's bedtime stories, now at the forefront of cosmic politics. But beneath the surface of duty lay individual motives, Kai's thirst for purpose, and Seraphina's need to challenge the boundaries of known science. As their ships aligned with the Vanguard's docking bay, Kai's mind raced with questions. Who or what had reactivated the flare, and why now, after eons of silence? As they docked, the formidable bulkhead of the Vanguard seemed to swallow their ships whole, prefacing a mission that would see Kai and Seraphina pitted against forces they couldn't yet comprehend. Unbeknownst to them, deep inside the core of the flare, a ripple of energy echoed through space and time, a harbinger of challenges that promised to test every ounce of their resolve. A collision of universes, a convergence of destinies, loomed beyond the veil, and everything they once knew was about to transform. The chronicle of the Arken Flare had begun, and there would be no turning back. Kai and Seraphina stood on the observation deck of the Vanguard, a vast space filled with cold, glowing screens and the hum of alien technology. Before them stretched the inky expanse of the galaxy, punctuated occasionally by drifting fragments of otherworldly debris. But it was the Arken Flare that stole the view, a pulsating aurora with colors so vibrant they seemed to paint the void with echoes of another realm. "Remarkable, isn't it?" Seraphina whispered, her voice breathless with wonder. Kai crossed his arms. If remarkable means potentially universe-shattering. The Vanguard's commander, a stoic man by the name of Admiral Rain, entered the deck with the authority of one used to getting his way. His uniform was immaculate, his presence commanding. "Trenton Gale," he greeted them. "You're about to become intimately familiar with that flare. The Coalition has decided to launch an expedition, an incursion into the phenomena. We need boots on the ground, digital and otherwise, to gather data from within." "You want us to jump into that?" Kai's skepticism was hard to mask. "More or less," Rain replied. "Technically, you'll be entering a parallel spatial-temporal anomaly. Think of it as crossing from one reality into another." Seraphina's eyes widened at the prospect. "That's extraordinary. We could confirm multiverse theory, see worlds beyond." "Or," Kai cut in, "we could end up nowhere, floating around forever in a dimension where pizza doesn't exist." Admiral Rain chuckled at the attempt to lighten the intensity of the assigned mission. "Thus, the Coalition has wisely prepared. You'll be equipped with ether suits, advanced tech designed for transdimensional navigation." Seraphina's eyes lit up at the mention. "I've read the specs, a blend of nanotechnology and biological adaptation. They adapt to both the wearer and the environment." The Admiral nodded. "Precisely. Gear up and prepare to deploy within the day." "Your insights, Dr. Gale, and your navigational prowess, Trenton, are crucial to the success of this mission." As they left to ready themselves, Kai turned to Seraphina, his demeanor shifting to one of seriousness. "Listen, we get in, we get the data they want, and we get out. alive. Serafina smirked, nodding in agreement. And maybe, just maybe, we discover something that redefines everything. The tension of the unknown lay heavy between them, a looming presence almost as palpable as the cosmic anomaly outside. As they prepared to leap into the flare, the reality of their journey sunk in. They both understood this mission, a trek into the profound unknown, could either save their universe or leave them irreversibly lost beyond the veil of stars, drifting in a place time and reason might never reach. With the gears of fate now inexorably turning, Kai and Serafina prepared to chase the flare, suspended between spectrums of light and shadow, as the very essence of reality pivoted on the edge of their daring incursion. The airlock of the Vanguard was a chamber of anticipation. It hummed with the sound of recalibrating systems, the occasional beeping of distant consoles resonating like echoes in the vastness of space. Kai and Serafina stood side by side in their ether suits, the advanced helmets shaped to their features, lenses shimmering with data projections. "Well, this is going to be just another day at the office," Kai quipped, though the nervous twitch of his lips betrayed him. "A very unusual office," Serafina replied, her eyes flitting across the interface inside her visor, absorbing graphs of energy waves, cosmic particles, and readings that defied conventional science. As the airlock cycled open, the flare was a mesmerizing maw of light and promise. The shimmering auroras danced before them, tempting and terrifying in equal measure. "Commencing deployment," Serafina announced, her voice steady as she triggered the release mechanism. The pull was immediate and all-encompassing. The fabric of space seemed to stretch around them as they were drawn into the flare, the light enveloping them like the sun swallowing a shadow. "Visuals are holding," Kai reported, his gaze fixed on the swirling patterns ahead, each moment a vivid tapestry of possibility and threat. As they crossed the threshold, the world around them shifted. Suddenly, they were weightless, floating through layers of fragmented dimensions. Strange celestial bodies skated across the horizon like phantom fishes in a cosmic sea, each more alien and beautiful than the last. Serafina's voice broke through the chaotic splendor. "Detecting complex structures in Grid 719. This isn't random celestial debris. These are constructed forms." Kai maneuvered towards the coordinates. Indeed, they appeared. A cluster of ancient, angular relics that hung suspended in the vacuum. Ruins of a forgotten civilization, tangled with fragments of languages unreadable by modern understanding. "Looks like somebody beat us to interdimensional travel," Kai mused as they hovered above the majestic remains. Further scans revealed the remnants of technology and hieroglyphs, hinting at stories of transcendence, of epochs colliding in expansive tides that besieged logic and linear time. "This could be definitive proof," Serafina breathed, fascinated, not just of parallel dimensions but civilizations that proved their own existence in multiversal travel. But as they marveled at these revelations, a signal, strange and garbled, broadcasted through their comms. Bristling with urgency yet cloaked in incomprehension, it bore the unmistakable cadence of a warning. "We're not alone anymore," Kai realized, scanning the horizon instinctively. Out of the swirling currents of multichromatic light emerged something profound, purposeful, a presence more significant and foreboding than relics lost in time. As the dimension trembled with impending revelations and possible threats, Kai and Serafina readied themselves. The knowledge they'd sought held risks unforeseen, veins of consequence and salvation twisted together like cosmic serendipity. The first domino had tipped, setting off a cascade of discovery they were neither prepared to escape nor eager to forsake. In the weightlessness of the Arken Flare's heart, Kai and Serafina drifted amidst wonders and warnings alike. The signal echoed through the dimensions, a resonance louder and more urgent with every pulse. "We have company," Kai noted, his instincts bristling with the awareness of unseen eyes. He toggled his suit's systems, trying to pin down the origins of the cryptic transmission. As they scanned the horizon, the swirling mosaic of light and shadow parted to reveal a shape, sleek, glinting with an unsettlingly familiar technology. It was an AI probe, yet not one of coalition design. It bore markings of an originating species long thought to be lost in history, the Etherians. "This tech is pre-council?" Serafina whispered, astonished. "Etherians supposedly vanished eons ago." Kai nodded, his eyes narrowing at the implications. Looks like their jumps brought them here. Before they could close the distance, the probe shifted, alive, cautious. It unfurled mechanisms that hinted intelligence, ancient protocols executing in silence. Serafina moved closer, fascinated and wary. If it still functions after all this time, it could hold keys to dimensions, methods of travel that could stabilize or destroy the flare. But as they approached, the probe transmitted once more, this time in a language they partially understood. Words like caution and collapse glimmered within their mind links, fleeting yet daunting. It's warning us, Kai deduced, puzzled but alert. But about what exactly? As if answering, the light around them flickered, collapsing into darker hues, a fracture that exposed an abyss deeper than imagination. The relics they had marveled at began to shimmer, and the air was vibrating with energies almost audible in their chaos. A convergence event, Serafina realized, panic veiling her composure. The dimensions are destabilizing. If they collapse, the parallel universe theory might come true in the worst possible way. They were caught in the chaos, adrift in reality, where every second stretched into an eternity waiting to implode. With time twisting and anchoring fading, their suits initialized emergency protocols, guiding them back towards the tangible borders between their universe and the flare. "We need to understand this tech fast," Kai ordered, straining against his suit's inertia. Serafina nodded, furiously inputting data into her systems to decipher and repurpose the probe's technology before further disaster could strike. But within the flare's grasp, they were not merely explorers. They were witnesses, tangled in a mystery that crisscrossed the annals of time itself. Through their suits, data streamed with answers yet to find voices. Kai and Serafina remained suspended between despair and revelation, their mission transforming from mere exploration to the survival of endless worlds. The flare watched on, a celestial jury of judges and scholars without equal. Its secrets loomed, waiting for Kai and Serafina to stroke past earthly fears into the embrace of universal knowledge. And through the radiant storm, an understanding began to form, both of their purpose and of the expansive, unpredictable cosmos that now lay opened before them. Time danced around Kai and Serafina as they navigated the depths of the Arken Flare, each fractured moment imbued with both terror and wonder. The Etherean probe, ageless and enigmatic, floated nearby, pulsing softly as it shared its ancient warnings, a beacon of lost wisdom guiding them through uncertain currents. Serafina's fingers worked swiftly across her suit's interface, pulling streams of data from the probe's archaic systems. "This tech, it's a blueprint. Tesseracts and conduits, Kai. They engineered connections between realms." Kai kept vigil, aware of the shadows lurking at the edge of perception. "Can we use it to stabilize the flare? Close off the collapse?" "We're missing pieces," she replied, frustration tangling with urgency. "It's like trying to read a book with half its pages torn out. There could be counter-protocols, but—" Suddenly, the cosmic backdrop shimmered, and what was once a cryptic vista of dimensional drift cracked wide, revealing a gateway, a portal defined by swirling energies, beckoning with the siren call of answers untold. "The portal," Kai exclaimed, realization dawning. "That's what the flare was all along. It's a doorway." Serafina nodded, awe-stricken. "Not just any doorway. Mapping the energies shows a direct line to where the Ethereans might have fled or to where they discovered their fate. It's a line between existence and obsolescence. But every path demanded a toll, a consequence rippling through the cosmos like waves upon a shore. Crossing this threshold meant venturing into uncharted domains where knowledge came at both enlightenment and peril. "We cross and we may not get back," Kai said, weighing their grim reality. "We need to decide, advance or withdraw." Serafina studied the portal, eyes sharp with resolve. "I say we move forward. If we can secure vital technology or learn their secrets, we can prevent potential catastrophic outcomes in our own universe." Before them, the magnificent tapestry of colliding dimensions and time awaited, sprawling like cosmic tendrils luring them onward. Yet each scenario was peppered with the risk of no return, the specter of eternal wandering in an alien void. With a shared glance of understanding, Kai and Serafina made their decision. They propelled themselves into the portal, armed with hope and intellect as their foremost defenses. As they breached the gateway, the universe expanded anew, a universe filled with inverted possibilities and the persistent echoes of forgotten voices. The air shimmered under the weight of an existence unknown, whispering promises that challenged their every belief. Yet, amid the mysteries untold, nestled the heart of truth. The truth intertwined amidst legends and destinies unfulfilled, where the fate of countless worlds teetered in anticipation of their next move. In crossing the threshold, they had bound themselves to the heart of the Arken Flare's enigma. The final unveiling awaited, a chapter of existence, unseen but always destined to unfold within the mosaic of the stars. The journey through the portal was like falling through shades of a dream, twisting, eternal, yet oddly serene. Kai and Seraphina emerged into a realm both breathtaking and disorienting, a kaleidoscope of starbursts and nebular wisps swirling in harmony. Gravity was a non-concept, and they hovered amidst the awe-inspiring vista, an ancient tapestry of celestial bodies and ethereal constructs orbiting round them. This space felt vast, yet intimate, like the lingering remnants of a forgotten thought. "We're inside the Flare's mind," Seraphina posited, marveling at the sight. Each tendril of light, a branch connecting to realms untouched by time. Kai nodded, absorbing the grandeur. "This place is alive with history. It feels like we've walked into the diary of the universe." Their suits, calibrated for any anomalies, began to decode the strange emissions surrounding them. Floating before them, suspended in the luminous river, was an apparition, a projection phasing between states of visibility. An Etherean, perhaps in its final moments, words and expressions reduced to echoes in stardust. Its gaze conveyed an unyielding conviction, breaking through the restrictions of their distant knowledge. "Shenotra elum valen," it murmured, wisps resonating through their mind links as Seraphina translated. "With knowledge, rise anew." "They wanted us to find this," Kai said softly. He was piecing together the signs of survival, of warnings, of guiding those who followed. In synchrony, dimensions folded around the apparition, visualizing uncharted maps, a network of galaxies alive with interlinking paths. Each node, a possibility, each line, a story waiting for its next chapter. "The Ethereans left us a path," Seraphina realized, awe spiraling through her comprehension. Journeys they couldn't complete but intended for others to finish. But their revelations were interrupted by a tremor, a ripple sent quivering across this ethereal plane. The probe they had met earlier rematerialized, pulsating frantically as systems warned of an imminent flux. "We're running out of time," Kai urged, the reality pressing. "This realm is unstable if we linger." "If these nodes are transdimensional corridors," Seraphina surmised, eyes scanning rapidly, desperate for solutions, "perhaps one leads back, a way to safeguard our passage and stabilize the flare." With strategy evolving into instinct, Kai reached for the closest mapped node, guiding them towards this possible salvation, a beacon among infinite stars. It was a path laced with complexities, a route through twilight zones of creation. Yet, amid pulses of alarm, understanding crystallized, the Etherean technology solidified the means to repair, perhaps even control, the gateway back. The dimensions sang with tension, an aria in frequencies only they could perceive. They traced the resonant map, sending data back to the vanguard, encoding insights into coalition databases, a guide for those who might follow. In those pressured moments, the journey towards mastery of the Arken Flare became both mission and melody, promising a future rewired by courage and discovery. And as their steps carried them beyond the luminous antechamber of the Flare's heart, one truth was apparent. They were architects now, crafting lines between universes, weaving possibilities where none were thought possible. Kai and Seraphina traced the fluctuations of the ethereal map, each step syncing with the rhythmic pulse of the cosmic symphony around them. The portal's lingering traces connected into a lattice, a network invisible yet palpable. Navigating cautiously, they found themselves in a corridor of shifting dimensions. The corridor was a bridge between realities, a place where perception twisted and inertia fluctuated in time's embrace. "We're walking through the spine of the universe," Seraphina whispered, her voice a mixture of respect and trepidation. "Each echo, each ripple here touches endless worlds." Light fractals played in dynamic harmony around them. Yet within this intricate dance, an undercurrent of urgency ran. The portal's stability was finite, and their time was tethered to its lasting harmony. "Keep mindful," Kai reminded her, fingers tracing patterns along his suit's interface. "We follow the signals, traverse the pathways before the flare loses coherence. As they ventured onward, they stumbled upon another fragment of the ancient civilization, a control panel simplicity in its elegance, circuits of light fanning out like a web crafted in time itself. Serafina leaned in, analyzing swiftly. The layout matches Etherean constructs, but with added complexities. Let's see if we can reroute stability readings into an access point back to familiar coordinates. Her fingers danced over the panel with practiced precision, and the structure responded, pathways lighting up as though cheering the reunion of lost kin. "It's like solving a riddle with infinite answers," she murmured, absorbing the profound information unlocking around them. Suddenly, the corridor trembled, a friction of energy coursing through. Somewhere within this multiverse, oscillations grew, colliding realities which threatened their fragile peace. With deft efficiency, Kai linked their suits to the control panel, sending signals to counteract imbalances, reading into patches of cosmic turbulence. "We need integration, something to stabilize the system," Kai concluded. "The channel back to our universe must remain intact." In those pressured moments, comprehension surged, a realization awakening within Serafina's gaze. The solution might lie in the frequencies, the resonance maps of the Ethereans. Braiding their consciousness into the grid, they wove combined intellect and spirit into the weave of energy, unlocking alignment frequencies converging into stability crests. For a moment, time seemed to reshape itself, pulling them into an embrace woven across boundaries and chasms, crisscrossing dimensions. Anchored by their resolve, they steadied the corridor, forming a bridge through the variables of chaos. Each touch, each adjustment resonated in this cathedral of light, harmonizing discord into clarity. Drawing deep into inner reserves, they glimpsed the beacon of salvation flicker, a portal opening, leading back to the vanguard, to realities known yet now enlightened. Their efforts carved a path, allowing passage to not only return, but to advance forward. Forward in understanding, in connecting the cosmic web, threading their essence into time's grander tapestry. The portal solidified into existence before them, an interdimensional vein pulsing in sync with the heartbeat of the cosmos. Kai and Serafina steeled themselves for their passage back, each carrying the weight of their discoveries, both personal and cosmic. "Ready?" Kai asked, his voice laced with determination and the wariness of one who had seen beyond the veil of reality. Serafina adjusted her suit, recalibrating the frequencies they had harmonized to stabilize their path. As ready as anyone can be when history decides to reshuffle itself in front of you. With a joint nod, they stepped forward, surrendering to the pull of the portal. Instantly, they were immersed in a vortex of cascading energy, the very threads of space and time weaving around them like a cocoon. The journey was swift yet profound, each heartbeat echoing across dimensions, conveying the persistent hum of worlds converging, lessons intertwining through the membrane of reality. As they emerged on the other side, aboard the Vanguard, Kai and Serafina were greeted by a crew hunched over consoles, eyes wide with anticipation and concern. "You've returned," Admiral Rain marveled, relief washing over his weathered features. "And not a moment too soon." Kai looked to Serafina, her expression a mirror of his own, a synthesis of relief, accomplishment, and the daunting steps that lay ahead. "We've stabilized the flare," Serafina reported, standing tall before the assembly. "It's a portal, Admiral, a conduit woven in the cosmic tapestry by the Ethereans. We've mapped its resonance frequencies. It can be circumvented, even navigated safely now." Admiral Rain's eyes glinted with a mix of awe and responsibility. "The Council must be informed. We're talking about unbounded access to realms until now beyond comprehension." But as the consoles displayed the readings, the Vanguard sensors revealed something unforeseen. A subtle pulse, a recurring echo within the flare now shaped by their interaction. "It's like a heartbeat," Kai remarked, piecing together the implications. "The flare's alive in a way, and our presence has woken something." Serafina leaned closer to the displays. "By harmonizing with its frequencies, we've established a dialogue. It's tuning itself to us, an invitation, maybe more." The implications were staggering, gateways that might bridge not just worlds but ideas, cultures, and peoples. "The Ethereans intended for others to follow," Serafina concluded, her voice imbued with newfound purpose. "To learn, yes, but perhaps to join in an exchange across the stars. The thought marinated in the collective consciousness of the crew. Possibility stretched before them, as vast as the universe itself, filled with paths carved by those who walked ahead and those who would someday follow. Meanwhile, somewhere beyond, the Arken Flare shimmered in the dark, a glowing testament to the unyielding human spirit's quest for the unknown. A beacon now seen not as a threat, but as a promise. As the cosmic dust settled, the Vanguard came alive with new purpose, the crew abuzz with the momentum of discovery. Interstellar sociologists, engineers, and linguists alike pored over the data Kai and Serafina had collected, each revelation a spark igniting passions and debates. Yet, beyond the elation of the possibilities unfurling, lay a tension thrumming beneath the surface, a ripple from the flare that carried the weight of long-forgotten secrets. With a resonance that resonated across dimensions, whispers spoke of both promise and peril. In the briefing room, a holographic projection of the Arken Flare rotated slowly above the table, iridescent with frequencies too low for the eye, but palpable in the mind. Kai, Serafina, and Admiral Rain convened, joined by the Coalition's top minds across sectors. "We're sitting on the precipice of interdimensional diplomacy," Admiral Rain began, his voice resonating with gravitas. "But the risks are manifold." Kai leaned forward, every instinct tuned to the potential outcomes. The probe's message was clear, a warning of collapse. If we can navigate, others might destabilize. Serafina nodded, "And that's assuming cooperation. We've inherited a cosmic bridge, but who knows who or what might cross back." The room fell still, each participant grappling with the breadth of the implications. Peace and prosperity, or incursion and chaos. The balance was fragile. "I propose," Serafina continued thoughtfully, "that we create a framework, not just of exploration, but of protection. A documented understanding of dimensional ethics, new protocols that guide interdimensional charges." Admiral Rain nodded approvingly. "You may well redefine civilization's playbook, Dr. Gale, rewriting laws in essence for the multiverse." Constructing this scaffold was monumental, immediately elevating their mission from navigation to negotiation, setting rules for those who would follow. The Coalition, once confined to galactic borders, now stared into infinity, aware that they must tread carefully. As the meeting adjourned, Kai and Serafina found a quiet corner amid the bustling vessel. The reality of their roles weighed heavily, yet with an air of resolve and mutual respect. "I didn't set out to be an ambassador between universes," Kai chuckled, staring into the mesmerizing void beyond the viewport. "Neither did I dream of writing treaties for worlds unseen," Serafina replied, mirroring his sentiment. "But here we are, crafting reality's next chapter, word by word." Their conversation was interrupted by a gentle hum, a tone both unfamiliar and achingly familiar. It was the flare, calling out, no longer just a portal but a participant in this burgeoning dialogue. Gravitating towards the source, they stood in anticipation, the universe stretching every ounce of its potential between the consciousnesses daring to span its breadth. As the Arken Flare awaited and the Coalitions prepared, Kai and Serafina shared a knowing glance. The adventure was far from over, and the horizon held countless tales waiting to be told. Tales painted with the colors of dissolved barriers and expanding unity. The Arken Flare, once shrouded in mystery and apprehension, now thrummed like a beacon, its pulse both an invitation and a challenge. Around the Vanguard, the Coalition's most skilled were abuzz with the synthesis of ideas, each mechanism of understanding honed into practical readiness. Kai and Serafina had become guiding lights, navigating realms both tangible and intangible, knitting together the histories that now propelled them towards an extraordinary new epoch. In the command center, Admiral Rain addressed a gathering that stretched beyond the ship's bridge, wirelessly linking millions across various reaches of space. As live hollow projections of Kai and Serafina flickered into life, a silence filled with significance blanketed the assembly. "Today," Rain began, his every word punctuated by conviction, "we stand on the brink of an intersection between universes, history, and futures, guided by the Arken Flare's illumination." Serafina stepped forward, speaking into the vast expanse of cooperative minds tuned in. "We have crafted protocols, redefined purposes, but it's our duty to preserve not only our existence, but the intricate balances of dimensions we're now touching." Kai chimed in, a rare levity underpinning his words. Once we were just explorers, yet in these journeys barriers dissolved, revealing potentialities that demand wisdom over wonder alone. Their words were laden with the hopes and dreams of an entire galaxy, a call to action with profound implications, requiring prudence and collaboration beyond conventional understanding. Behind them, the flare danced, a curtain of light signaling possibilities, its cosmic heartbeat now harmonized with the consciousness of those who dared listen. In the subsequent weeks, the coalition embarked on establishing dimensional guardians, pathways maintained with symbiotic reverence. Dialogues opened with resonances and energies, enhancing interstellar bonds and solidifying unity among disparate worlds. Kai and Serafina remained at the nexus of these endeavors, their leadership cementing alliances that transcended the physical, traversing corridors of ideology and spirit. Within the newfound connections, technological breakthroughs flourished, innovations that prolonged life, enhanced adaptability, and communicated across eons with seamless elegance. A newfound peace spread through the cosmos, a web of understanding binding the previously unbound, crafting a tapestry of shared wisdom, interwoven with the fabric of the universe itself. As the Arken Flare continued to pulsate gently, its light enveloping the farthest reaches of human exploration, Kai and Serafina caught sight of a future not defined by fear, but by the courage to reach beyond. The chronicle that began with uncertainty now painted visions of hope, a promise sculpted in part by those willing to leap, to bridge divides, and to write history upon the starlit canvases of what lay beyond. And as the ages turned, the flare would remain, steadfast, listening, awaiting the next voices of courage and discovery to echo through its endless cosmic halls, resounding throughout all of creation.